Hello everybody, this is Stingray coming to you live on the way to Floresville, Texas. I'm going to an event that I was invited to 2 days ago, and then again on yesterday, actually 2 days ago, and then again on today itself. I was actually trying to do the math and make sure I was correct on the 2 days ago. It might have been three, but it was two, because today is Sunday and the event that I was called by a bunch of people on was on Friday. So if you go back 2 days ago and look at the videos that I've uploaded, you'll find a video that's talking about some of the calls that I received or messages, which didn't even include the information about this particular outing. I had to have a conversation that went beyond that in order to be invited to this event that God only knows has been in the works for some time already. In other words, I'm more than certain that it wasn't just 2 days ago and then yesterday that this event was planned. It's a family event to which I, again, was gracious to accept an invitation to. So, thank you so much for inviting me into your viewership, those of you who are watching this, and I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, your comments. Really what we're trying to do is build a family here of whoever wants to participate in things that are related to nature and health, wellness, and conservation. As I'm going towards this celebration, I basically let go of my thoughts, knowing what I know, which is what I've shared with you. Fact is, I was just recently invited to this event to which I'm headed, which I already knew existed for some time. A lot of people talk about organizing and gathering a group to accomplish tasks, and they go about suggesting that they'll be there when you need them, and they just can't. But it's not a problem. It's never a problem. In a lot of cases, we are aligned directly into one another's path in ways that are undeniable. I cannot hardly begin to process all of the steps that it took for me to wind up in your living room today. But I can tell you that everything that's about to happen is positive. Why am I documenting these things in public? I just hit one bug. I can't tell you how many miles I've been driving for, but you saw practically when I started the drive, I've hit one bug. Everything is green. The flowers are out. I'm not saying I want to kill a lot of bugs. I'm just saying I'm noticing on the Texas roadways today, we have a small decrease in the amount of insects that were formerly present. Why am I lumping this in together with a conversation about something I was invited to? The thing I was invited to is going to be a talking point opportunity to bring up my concerns about the individual that I was talking about recently. I say I'm talking about, that's a really terrible way to have to put it. I would be talking with that person if that person were able to tolerate what's going on. I realize that they're ill. I realize it. I also recognize that there are avenues of assistance I myself offer services to people who are looking for help. I feel like a single member of the A-team operating before the A-team formed, you know? I don't know what the backstory is, but it'd be a kick-ass video to watch. How did the A-team come to be? I'm sure there's a story behind it that goes before the military days, before the actual camaraderie. But if the A-team knew today that, I don't know, 25 years from now, there would be such a crash in the insect population, and it's all due, I'm looking at the litter that I see on the sides of the road, it's all due to the consumption of everything that we've grown accustomed to with regard to celebrating. So, I'm not just talking about addiction on one term where it's applying to one person. You see that slick move? I was on an interchange turn, and there were cars that wanted to go a lot faster than the basic posted speed limit. So I ducked into the slow lane. Before they actually had gotten behind me, there was an opening where I ducked into the slow. All that I processed while I'm seeing the trash, all the trash. It's cans, cups, styrofoam. I'll name it as I see it. Aluminum, plastic, rubber. Here comes a little pocket, another pocket. Rubber, cardboard, rubber, paper, like a sack from a restaurant. It had stuff in it. Just stuff. But you know what I'm not seeing on all the flowers that are blooming right now? Butterflies. I mean, they're here. And again, I'm not trying to be a doom and gloom person. I'm telling you, I'm winding up in your living room today. And that might mean on several levels. But that happened because of unexpected events that led to this event. Events that I couldn't even plan better myself. What better opportunity to talk calmly? And that's the key. To talk calmly with people who are afraid. Are you afraid of what's going to happen? I am not afraid that my dad is a threat to me when I go to visit him. I'm protected. I said, don't you touch me. Protected by God. I have songs about this. I met with the devil. If I hadn't moved, you know, I'd surely be dead. There are a lot of times when people have attempted to take my life, and I don't mean that like physically, although my dad, he treated me pretty rough as a toddler. One time, I wet myself. It wasn't too much more than 2. My dad, he was downstairs with a friend. And they were participating in things that, well, my mom didn't have the leisure time for because my mom was at work to provide housing and food for us, which included the toddler, basically spawn of my father. In other words, what should be a given as responsibility. If someone ever has a child and abandons that child, you might be a bully without ever knowing it. If you've never apologized to I was talking about which was that any action I do is going to yield boatloads of garbage. And is it all going to be worth it? It's worth it, baby. If you're not celebrating life daily, you're working for the wrong team. And I mean that on so many levels. One thing that's a given is that we are generating things all day long in all of our actions, unless we go without. That's why I talked about fasting for a while, how it pertains to our health. Mental, spiritual, physical. There's this one person online called, her name is Rachel Ray. I used to listen to her talk shows across the nation while I was driving. She gave me a lot of hope because she talked about the tripod that holds up positivity. Physical, spiritual, and emotional wellness. She talked about that. It's a winning combination. Well, as I look around and see that our nature resources have been depleted, I'm seeing a huge field of sunflowers out here on my right. Absolutely giant. And there are 0 bugs. Now let me tell you, I'm in San Antonio right now still. Something surprised me a second ago. You guys saw that. There was a weird situation that's still taking priority over everything else, except for when you split your attention and there's a lot of traffic. Well, you have to run the risk that other people are following along in the same faith that you are, which includes the possibility that somebody might be causing a change up for everyone. Someone's not quite following the rules. They're going way less than a posted speed limit, or way more than a posted speed limit, or way more erratic than the situation needs to be, way more polluted than things have to be when we consume. Yesterday, my partner and I went to go pick peaches in Fredericksburg, Texas. I had no idea whether I was going to come to this event or not, because of how I've felt in the past. Hurt, let down, invisible, rejected. It's kind of what's happening on these channels. I've got 1 or 2 friends who can hear what I'm saying so much that they're like, God, all you ever needed to do was talk. Well, that's why we were hanging out. But the moment that I started talking about consumption, I started to lose my friends. I don't mean I lost them. I mean, maybe I lost them in the conversation. It's like too deep to figure out why it's so important to me that the insects are not present on the flowers, and I see more plastic on the road that's advertising things that I'm going to be exposed to when I'm at this event. Celebratory, ritualistic, routine traditions, many of them pagan. So it begs the touching on the windshield in the middle of this springtime eruption of flowers. Going to this meeting, I say meeting, that's how I'm going to treat it. It's a work-related experience. Going to this meeting where I get to hang out with a lot of family who I haven't seen in a long time. And yet, regularly enough, I've tried to hang out with my own dad, who lives out here as well. I shouldn't say as well, not everyone lives out here. And I shouldn't say as well, because he has not been living out here as a well person. Do you guys like that? How I change? It's like I can change gears in the topic, but the topic never changed. We are experiencing an awakening right now, together. I'm your messenger, you're my messenger, we're teachers and students alike. And I'm just saying, this message about addiction runs a little bit deeper than whether or not someone drinks alcohol to the point where they finally get to drinking turpentine, paint thinner, whatever. It transcends things. It's simple enough to ask the question, would someone physically strike you if you peed your pants? So basically, at about 2 years old, I wet my pants, and my dad was downstairs doing some stuff, which included consumer purchases that we might be able to associate with alcoholism. And my dad, when I told him I peed, so that he could, help me with the thing I didn't know how to operate, my diaper, what happens? I peed, My dad, to help me to remember not to pee again, picked me up and threw me headfirst into a tub. I don't know what age you are right now, but if you can imagine anyone picking you up and from any distance throwing you into a tub headfirst, without preparation, maybe without that upper body strength to protect yourself from that impact, it might not feel pleasant. So, I woke up at 2 years old. Since that point in time, I've remembered and recalled so many details that it'd be remiss to say that we can wake up to new levels when things are a threat. If it seems to you like a threat that I'm talking in this tone, trust me, I'm not a threat to you. I'm your help. I'm your biggest helper. I'm the one who communicates it together in a way that helps it to make sense to everybody. Just the same as you. You do the same thing. It's just that everyone specializes in their own thing. I specialize in where'd the butterflies go. My windshield is crystal clear. Have you seen anything pass over the car? I wasn't paying attention to that. The traffic was too bad. Now I'm out on the outskirts of Floresville coming up on a traffic light. One of the traffic lights finally caught me so that we can slow it down a minute and just refocus on the topic. You invited me into your living room for a purpose. You're either going to help share this message in a way that helps to inspire that income that I know is rightfully ours to overcome addiction in ways that are transformative. In order to accomplish that, I myself was faced with some previous decisions that I didn't make in the greatest, richest, wealthiest way possible. I have some outstanding debt. And I have a team that I'm ready to build, but they have some outstanding debt, which is why we go to work daily to try to make income and to try to have benefits so that we're protected for a future that may be uncertain anyway. See what I'm saying? It's a very deep, complex question that could cause someone fear. I'm not afraid. Why am I not afraid that I'm not seeing all these insights? Because there are pockets areas of life that I do see. There are things that I see, miracles every day. And the only person's family who I'm really hoping for that miracle, and I know I've had plenty of miracles throughout my life, the only family, there's a vulture overhead. You might not see it, and you might, I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if it showed up in the frame. But there are things that I cannot always prove because circumstances will change the topic so fast that some of us can't remember. I'm still talking about butterflies. Some of us have fears, and until we can realize a bigger fear exists, until I knew someone would pick me up and throw me in a tub, maybe I was probably afraid of what would come out of my closet in my imagination, in the dreams. Once the real life hit me, dreams were just dreams. I can control my dreams, at least. So, I sleep well at night. I don't have anxiety. And the way I process things is different from almost anyone I know. So different that, again, I've lost a lot of friends as I talk about these things, which is why I don't believe that family is very much different than friends. Until you actually find a family who cares about you so much that they would help you out in your time of need, you just don't have a family. And that's a given. Almost all of us were born into unique situations where we do not have a true family. Our lessons are simply, are we family worthy ourselves? When you present yourself as a family member, in other words, as someone who's considerate to someone else for whatever hierarchy that you agree to, which includes and is not limited to the fact that some people don't have the money right now to achieve these miracles as easily as others, then you start to recognize the topic is full circle. It's so full circle that if you're uncomfortable about the fact that I'm talking about restaurant packaging being on the side of the road, and that maybe it's us that are creating these addiction-related problems across the scale so far that we don't know whose problem to pay attention to or why. You pay attention to your own problems. And if you see someone struggling, I saw my first roadkill on this drive so far. I don't know what it was. It looked like a domestic animal. If you see someone struggling, you help out. That's all there is to this game of life. Some people got really mad at me for wearing this. Not necessarily even in a vocal way sometimes, but some people would outright say it. Your cross offends me. The church built over the Native American. Some people will recognize, sometimes I wear this, sometimes I wear the arrowhead. The arrowhead was actually built, custom made, by an amazing craftsman, Mark Heilman. Got your first name wrong at first. Sorry about that, Mark. And I asked him to make it. It's in a way it represents Jesus. The same way. Jesus can be represented in a couple of ways. One of my aunts says, why do they always represent Jesus as dead Jesus? Well, that's where the arrowhead came in, baby. That's live Jesus. Live Jesus was about as native as they get. And the Native Americans even get offended by some of the things I share that are nature related. True story. I can't make this up. Everything has put me into your living room. Everything I'm going to tell her, Adam, is the truth. And the truth can have just as much potency as a venom. And some venoms are meant to tear things down to the foundation. In a lot of cases, when things are so broken that the foundation needed to be a little bit more solid, someone can harm you. Someone might be able to throw you into a tub. As long as that foundation is solidified, we will all die in the physical sense, and in many cases in the spiritual sense as well. How are we going to be reborn when we find out that that clock, which was formerly ticking, is no longer ticking? Are we going to help one another, or are we going to tell someone 2 days before a long, organized event, hey, I was going to call you, I was going to call, whoever. I know when I'm not wanted someplace. My question is why? What have I done against your community, your family? And am I even welcome in it? Until next time, have a great day. These are just some thoughts to contemplate. I hope that my family is out there. I hope you're hearing me. I know you're hearing me, actually. The more and more I know it, the more emotion that I carry into these conversations. And to sum it all up, because some of everyone is going to be like, well, this guy's ranting about flowers and family, and it doesn't make sense. That's a lie. Those are political posturing lies by bullies. I'm passing through fields of yellow flowers. Fields of yellow flowers. The windshield is still clean. It's possible I'm living in my own nightmare in this dream, in this reality, which means maybe my dad is going through, there's a confirmation, maybe my dad is going through a nightmare as he's going through this situation. He's having daydreams that are like a toddler. He might even be wetting his pants right now. I'm not kidding. I've heard it. If we get old enough, we get lucky enough to depend on one another. I just passed a gray fox. It was such a weird animal. It looked like a gray fox, but it had a ringed tail. But it didn't look like a ringtail. It looked like, the way it was laying, I could see the underside of its tail, so it had stripes. But when I looked at the whole back of the fox as I passed, because it was clearly visible on the road and in my side view mirror, it was absolutely a gray fox with reddish hue. I've never seen the underside of a fox's tail that was striped, I guess. Anyway, wildlife is very unique. I'm passing by several stands here that are selling Fredericksburg peaches, which I have with me already to take to my family. Oh, check this out. Probiotics, right? Look what's in it. I don't know if you can see that. It's little tomatoes from my garden. So I'm bringing my family things that, rocks, peaches, tomatoes, things that may not have value to some people. But to me, things that are absolutely worth discussing. Whether you believe in some higher power or another, or refute it. Some people will talk about being atheists, and then they'll have this moral high ground that talks about whatever entitled, unshakable truth they believe in. I believe in miracles, and that anything that we know as it is can change immediately. And I believe in that because I've seen things change right in front of me. And I myself was not having a drug-induced psychosis. So, whether you believe in the spiritual plane or not, I can tell you for a fact, based on my experiences in real life, with real family and friends, that saying the Our Father, or probably any peaceful text, I did that and got griped out by them, I bet you they could pray for me, at me, with me, their most peaceful prayer. Our Father is absolutely peaceful. Whether the religious whether the religious zealots or politicians had a hand in destroying all of the remarkable truth or not. The fact is, there was something so powerful that it's been talked about throughout time. Jesus, Buddha, Shiva. Whatever version you understand as peace, Jesus walked around saying, hey, don't worry if they're not against us, they're for us. It's the truth. I'm not against any of you or any of me. I embrace everything that I have ever gone through to become the person who you invited into your living room to hear this world talk today. Thank you so much for listening along with me. Peace be with you. Blessings. Let me show you. Here's the fields of flowers. I hope that you got to see the flowers. I'm passing by fields and fields of beautiful yellow flowers. Indian paintbrushes. In today's world, I'm so disappointed that we're so offended that we had to rename the football team. And yet we got flowers called Indian paintbrushes. We've got, the point is, it's like someone got offended at something, and we could very well be offended at anything right now, including the fact that I'm mentioning all these things with such, some people would call it disregard. I'm treating it with reverence. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. Amen. Thank you so much for listening, friends and family. Please don't forget to subscribe, click like, share the video, do something. Do something other than trying to figure out at the last second. We could have been working together. Do something other than letting things fail around you. Clean up if you have to. Someone told me, why are you helping other people? You need to make sure your own house is in order. It is. You've been invited. You can make it up and say you weren't. Or you can just understand that maybe because of what I'm saying about addiction, you're overlooking many things that I'm saying because of addiction. If you can't focus, you can't focus. If you can't focus, that causes anxiety. If you have anxiety, you cannot have pleasant daydreams. If you can't have pleasant daydreams, what are you creating in your life? You might be creating nightmares, and these visions that we all have, we're all shared. They're all shared. A butterfly just passed over another butterfly. 2 butterflies. And then cardboard. Plastic, glass, cardboard, rubber, paper, glass.